Okay, let's talk about Lewy body dementia and the effect it has on caregivers like myself. Um, took my mom to a doctor the other day and put me in touch with a social worker who happens to be a clinical psychiatrist who specializes in adults, adult children or spouses of people with dementia, caregiver burnout, um, and how it affects our life, my life. Um, it opened my eyes to a lot of things that, I guess I took for granted. When you have a parent who is, diagnosed with dementia, you spend 100% of your time taking caring for that person at the expense of your own health, your own needs. Like an example is today, beautiful weather. I could have gone to the park. I could have gone, you know, anywhere, lunch, anywhere. But I have to take care of my mother. This is not a complaint. I'm dealing with this from, if you want to put it, a clinical perspective. Um, and, you know, as much as we want to, to say, oh, it's, it's what children take care of their parents all the time. Um, the therapist was telling me, the psychiatrist in the group, they were mostly children and of either mother or father with dementia. And there was one other guy, but I was, it's just two men, but mostly women. There's no birth order as to who the burden, not the burden, or who the responsibility falls on. It could be the first child, second child, anywhere in the family. But you often feel isolated. You often feel ignored. Um, you, and it's just a fact. This is not casting blame. It happens in every single family. There's a, well, you're taking care of it. Why bother? Right? It's not, maybe it's not why bother. It's rather you than me. So I have to sit there and say, maybe this is my destiny. This is, because I was close to my mother all my life. We were inseparable. We still are. And I love her very much, obviously. Not denying the love of my other siblings or anything. This is not a personal attack on them or anything like that, but I have to speak. I have to talk about it because I'll go crazy. So, a typical day is 24 hours for me. Even when I'm sleeping, one eye is open just to make sure that she doesn't fall. I have to take care of every single need as she gets older. Now, the therapist was talking about the fact that this is one of the worst possible responsibilities of any caregiver, dementia, because you're dealing with somebody who has become childlike, where they're losing literally their faculties. My mother asks me questions, like the last couple of days, it's questions about a funeral, where my grandmother is, her mother, where's her sister, is she coming back? I have to deal with the fact my mother asks me all the time, when am I going home? And I have to redirect. Home is here, but where am I? And so I just want you, those of you who are looking at this, to put yourself in a position where you have to literally answer questions every waking moment of the day about things that don't make sense. I could be on my computer playing a game, I could be trying to sleep, anything. And you have to keep answering. You have to give these people, not these people. I have to give my mother my undivided attention, all day, 24/7. When Lisa is here, the caregiver, she They have a wonderful relationship. I remove myself from the house. I find myself just driving sometimes. No destination. It's not that I'm running away from my responsibilities or anything like that. I just need to breathe. Sometimes I go on vacation because I don't want to think. I don't want to see. It's like you're literally living with someone who is fading in every way, shape, or form right before your eyes. Think about that. Um, there's a way. There's every day a different thing presents itself. Thankfully, my mother is one of the best, I guess, for me in the sense that she's pleasant. She has a sense of humor. She worries all the time about everything and anybody and everybody, kids, siblings, sisters, brother, everybody she worries about. But I am here denying I don't have a life in the sense of, I can wake up today at 9 a.m. I have to be up when my mother's up. It's a child. It's a toddler. Doesn't know I'm helping her to eat now. So maybe I could give you an example. An average day starts with her waking up to my kisses. Every opportunity I get, I'm one of the most loving. Let me just boast. Why not? I am one of the best, most loving children in the world. That's not denying anybody anything, by the way. Okay? And so the therapist in the group said to me, Yuri, if you weren't taking care of your mother, what would happen? I don't know. I had to answer, I don't know. So she said, Yuri, she's lucky to have you, and I know that. My mother, in her lucid, when she's clear and she's focused, she thanks me. Thank you for all you're doing for me. I love you. She hugs me. Sometimes I go and I put my head in my mother's bosom and I cry. And she comforts me. She doesn't know why I'm crying. Sometimes I'm crying because I lost one of my brothers. And she doesn't know that. We can't tell her, because that may trigger a different kind of reaction. So, but on a daily basis, it's bathing her, feeding her, changing her bed sheets, doing the laundry, cooking. I'm cooking now. Yay! YouTube is a wonderful thing. I learned so many videos of curry and cook up rice, and I have no choice. I am on my feet all day, every day. When if I have a social event like tomorrow, my friends might want to go to the park to fly a kite. I have to have somebody stay with my mother. Can't leave her alone. I do leave her alone to do laundry, come back. I have a camera in the house that watches. I'm on the camera telling her, okay, I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back. Because she gets very paranoid when she's left alone. She's not tried to get out the house. She hasn't had any major falls. But, sometimes there's a wave of emotions all day, every day. Like, I went out today with her, I had to pick up a few things. So I took her, the bread is beautiful, I took her with me. I put on some music, and she was listening to one of the songs, obviously triggered something in her. And she started to cry. I had to pull over, stop the car, hug her, and she said, Babs is gone, and she doesn't love me anymore. Now, Babs' Auntie Barbara died, I can't remember, 10 years ago, maybe longer. Probably longer. Forgive me for not remembering, because, anyway. And I have to make up a story and say, well, she'll be back, everything is fine. So it feels like I have dementia. And it's a very, very scary thing. I'm 54 years old. and I don't want to become diagnosed with dementia. It's very scary. And let's look at the birth order. I'm the youngest of four. Gary is gone. I'm the youngest. Who will look after me when I get older? Thankfully, I have no responsibilities in terms of, you know, um, property and land and family assets and all of that. I got some good, I guess, I got some good blessings in different areas. But this all time consuming, think about a nurse or a home health aide. They work 8 hours a day and they go home. Their caregiving is done. A caregiver never sleeps. If my mother gets up at night, I have to leave my bed to go hold her, to take her to the bathroom and take her back to bed every night. Blissfully, sometimes she sleeps through the night, and it gives some relief. She's on different types of medications to help to combat the panic attacks and you know, the sleeplessness, the restlessness. Because sometimes she puts on her shoes and she's ready to go. And it would take me 2 or 3 hours of coaxing, trying to get her to lie down. She pushes me away. And you have to be in the moment and say, Yuri, do your best, calm down, relax, it'll pass. And sometimes she has a small bed. I will try to lay in the bed next to her and hug her and gently kiss her, caress her hair, and she go, oh, that feels nice. And physical touch is what does it. I literally have to become a child again and cuddle with my mother as she navigates this difficult period. It's like I'm talking to you now and I have a headache. I mean, I was out last night and maybe I had too much to drink, fine. But you think I could have slept today? Even though I had a headache? She will need me. She needs something to eat. She needs to go to the bathroom. She's asking questions all the time. Again, this video is not a complaint. I'm not a victim. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not even angry. But I do feel that, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I can't give up on my mother. I can't casually say I'm done with this and put her in a nursing home or something like that. I can't do it. And I told her, I speak to her as much as I can. I told her several times, I will be by your side forever. Because, she's lost everything. She has a childlike innocence. And it breaks my heart. Because, I have pictures of her around the house. She's young and vibrant at age. It's a blessing to some people. Love, this thing about getting old and whatever. It's fine. But, like the therapist says, somebody who's diagnosed with diabetes or, has a heart issue or is incapacitated or, has a, whatever. But when you lose control of your mind, Lewy body dementia is it's literally a combination of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia. Right? I noticed it started, I think, during COVID. My mother used to always hear voices. I think she was traumatized by events that happened in Guyana, back home, and so that was the onset. I don't know where she is in the mid-range, or if she's just there's no predicting where this will go. but I just wanted to talk about it. It feels good to talk about it because, you know, we sit here and sometimes we say, oh, you know, people will think that I'm talking about it because I want sympathy, or, you know, I want people to think that I'm such a wonderful person. I'm not. I'm human. You know, sometimes I literally have to, when my mother panics, I have to literally close the door and say, Mommy, I'll be back, and sit and quiet my thoughts and quiet myself down, and then go back out and say, this is what we're doing. We're going to try to sleep. I'm going to get you something to drink, whatever. But, you know, I'm happy that her new doctor, very nice guy, very young, probably in his 30s, Dr. Ahmed, probably just came out of medical school, but he held her hands, he looked into her eyes, he asked me a bundle of questions about how am I coping, and I tell him I take vacations, and I feel guilty when I don't think of my mother, or I don't call home to see how she's doing. I feel like I'm abandoning my mother. And he said, no, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. And so I got referred. I'm not on any medication. I'm not depressed per se. I am tired. I'm exhausted sometimes. When you see me go out to jump up and dance and enjoy myself, don't envy me. When you see I get on a plane and I post videos of in some country, wherever I am in the world, don't envy me. It comes with a price. It comes because of a lack of any other escape. I will never touch drugs of any kind. I've seen what it does to a family. It's devastating. I tried weed. Disastrous. Last year sometime. I guess it's not disastrous per se, right? But I have this thing that I do not want to get. I have this thing inside of me that I do not wish to get addicted to anything. And maybe I'm addicted to the smell of airplane fuel. I do not want to be a substance abuser. I'm epileptic also. I suffer from seizures. Over the last few months, my mother had various medical issues that she was dealing with. She had intestinal issues and all kinds of stuff. I couldn't sleep some nights. My seizures are triggered by a lack of sleep and stress. I had a seizure just the day before I left for Europe in March. I still got on the plane and I went. My seizures happen in my sleep, and I wake up in another part of the house, not knowing anything. The last one that happened, I woke up in my mother's bed. Strange enough, in the seizure, unconscious, literally sleepwalking to my mother's bed. That is where she kind of, Yuri, what's happened? What's going on? And she woke me up. And what happens is when you have a seizure and you wake up out of it, everything is slow. You go, today is Saturday, and then the date comes and the time, and then your brain starts to function again slowly. I've had 2 or 3 of them in the last 6 months. They were pretty controlled for a number of years, but now they're, you know, it's not that they're multiplying or coming back. It's just that a few nights I haven't been sleeping well. I worry. I worry about my mother. I worry about things. I have an overactive worry brain. My mother's a warrior, not warrior. And so I gotta watch how much I drink. When I drink, I can't overdo it. My body, if I over exercise, if I push myself too hard on a treadmill and I'm soaking wet and I work out, my body responds with a seizure because it's like I'm depleting nutrients that are needed. It's a very strange thing. But so that's what I struggle with too. My health. What happens if something happens to me? Everything I do, every decision I make, maybe except for travel, has to be around my mother. I sneak out the house at night. I'm not gonna lie to you. When she's sound asleep, there's a bar not far away. I walk over there and I sit and I drink. There are times when I can't do that. If it's snowing or if I'm just not in the mood, I have to drink at home, sitting in front of my computer. I have a few drinks. Not gonna lie to you. I'm not an alcoholic by any way, shape, and form. Um, and I am so happy, and I gotta pat myself on the back that I have the strength to say no to many things. Years ago in a club, I was offered cocaine. No, don't want it. I get high on life in my own little way. This video is 21 minutes long already. I could go on and on. But I'll talk about it maybe some more about it another time. If you have any questions, you can reach out. If you're dealing with any issues, like I could be a therapist now to some people. I've been over the hill, down the other side, landed flat on my derriere, got back up, dusted off. I've done that so many times now. But I guess I'm blessed with the strength to keep going. Nobody tells me that. I gotta tell myself. Anyways, let me stop. Please feel free to reach out, to talk to me about anything. Again, this is not a vent, this is real. That's why I can't be a politician. I think I kind of keep things too real. Have a good night.